Good morning, Michael.
Hey, Tony, how are you, sir? And welcome everybody to the No Hissy Fit Zone.
Yeah,
Good to see you.
thank you. It's good to see you. I've been in Florida for 30 years,
Hmm.
and this last 2 weeks has been the longest time ever that had the heat on for continuous days.
All right, so give me your temperatures outside that you need to put the heat on in your house.
All right, let me show you. Let me
Because I'm
see.
sure that we New Englanders are going to harass you to no end on this.
Well, it was like 43 this morning, but now it's 48. Huh?
Aha.
It's so cold in Florida that I really had to go up to the attic and get out my winter shorts.
48 degrees is a little chilly for you. A week ago, Friday, I woke up, no, Saturday, I'll tell you about the story. I was in New York State. It was -7.
-7. Wow.
And I walked a half a mile down to a convenience store.
So I had my car in the shop, right? So I dropped it off at night, so I wouldn't have to go have Terry go pick me up in 7:30 in the morning.
Right.
And then the next morning, I was going to go there and bring my keys to drop off the keys for the guy because they didn't have a drop off slot or whatever.
Yeah.
I got in the car in Terry's car. I turned her on. I'm looking around and I couldn't see anything because the windows were full of frost.
Wow.
So I had to put the heat on to get the defroster going. It took me a few minutes just to get the frost out of there. It was crazy. That's
I
not
thought you
supposed
were
to
going to say you
happen.
forgot what I thought you were going to say you forgot what the defrost button was because you haven't used it for 30 years.
But it was cold. That morning was 37.
Oh,
But
yeah, so as I said, -7 a week ago and walking around in it. But I'm off site. I'm off site today out of the recording studio, and I braved this crazy New England weather going on. We're in the middle of a big storm. Because I wanted to come to you. Good news for the revenue department of the No Hissy Fit Zone. We get a new sponsor today, Cross Country Mortgage, the Devon Ash team.
wow, that's awesome.
So I braved the crazy storm to get out to their office. No one's on the roads. I think it's illegal. I think I broke the law today getting here for the new sponsor, but that's what we do for our sponsors. We're all
Yeah,
about giving back.
they're worth it.
They are. I don't have the address yet to send the invoice, but I'm working on that.
So this podcast almost didn't happen. I was having a problem with the computer, my computer. So I was telling my neighbor about it. He says, "Well, my son knows all kinds of stuff about computers. I'll send him over." The kid is
Boy.
he's 10 years old. The kid's 10 years old. So he gets on my computer, and I'm thinking, what's he gonna do? So next thing you know, he does a few things, but whatever. All of a sudden, he says, "There you go. You should be all set." I said, "What happened?" He goes, "It was ID10T code."
Huh.
I said, "What's an ID10 code?" He says, "Write it down. ID10T code."
I
So
just got it. I just got it.
I wrote it down. Look.
Uh-huh. I, I got it before you showed it.
Well, I didn't. I had to write it down when the kid told me that. I had to write it
Oh,
down.
that's funny. That's
Wow.
funny. Oh my goodness.
So I have a quote for our Zig Ziglar fans.
Oh,
Oh, but before
love
I
this
do
guy.
that, I
I've
got
been
another
working on
email.
my presentation, by the way. I'm putting that together.
I got an email from the PSA people that we haven't done the PSA in a while.
Hmm.
So here's the PSA, folks. People are working from home now and they're doing all these Zoom meetings. And,
Oh
it's
boy.
kind of a stressful thing because they're sitting at home and nice and relaxed. They want to wear shorts and a t-shirt. And, it's like a work meeting thing that they have to go to. So what I tell them
You
with
what?
the PSA is that,
Not
huh?
okay. I'm ready.
Well, basically, when you're sitting at that Zoom meeting and you're at home, whatever you put in that cup is up to you. I don't care what you put on there, but it doesn't have to be coffee.
Right.
But so that people don't suspect anything, you have to blow on it like it's hot tea or something.
And then you can enjoy a margarita during your business conference call.
And then we have to take a sip. You go, ooh, that was good.
That would give away the fact that you're drinking a margarita.
I
That
know.
face.
So here's the thing, the Zig Ziglar quote.
Oh, you and but we're both fortunate enough to have seen Zig live.
Oh yeah.
several times back in the day.
Back in the day, yes, sir.
Hmm.
Here's the quote. To be great, no, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to be started to be great.
You
Uh-huh.
don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
Yeah.
So you and I talked a few weeks ago about, I just had this, you know, just kind of came to me like, wouldn't it be cool to do a presentation as a speaker based upon all of Zig's stuff and have his audio or maybe even video talking about things and then having me elaborate on it live. And I've been taking some notes and getting some screenshots of quotes. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Because how much, I think about how much we, all of us, are held back. I'm putting together a presentation right now for a realty office on personal growth. And one of my mentors, John Maxwell, wrote a book called The 15 Laws of Growth. And so I am doing a once a month series in this real estate office sales meeting, taking 30 or 40 minutes each meeting and elaborating each of the laws. And so the law of intentionality, they talk about some of the mistaken beliefs that we have, and we have there's a gap between where we are and where we want to get to in life, and we have some mistaken beliefs sometimes that will widen that gap. And one of them is exactly what you were just talking about, which is perfectionism, which means like I have to make sure everything is perfect before I start. And there are lots of obstacles to starting I totally, I was in the audience years ago of a speaker, and he was referencing a certain mindset, and I didn't know it was me until I heard it. And he said it's kind of like the person who wants to drive from Boston to Los Angeles, but they need every light to be green before they start. And I was like, wow, that's me. I didn't even know it until I heard it framed like that. And that Zig comment talks exactly. And how many of us hold ourselves back by just not willing to take that? We don't want to make mistakes. We don't want to look foolish, all of this stuff. You just got to start to be great. Oh, I love that.
Wow.
I think I just made the presentation.
See that? It's almost like I knew that you needed that thing.
That was good. Yeah. When you and I have this kind of connection, we know we're doing the right thing.
Oh, I know. So I got to tell you, Jason, we had Jason, our first, what do you call it, first guest?
The first time we actually had to edit the show for profanity. I remember Jason, sure.
So this is interesting.
Because this is a family show,
So him and I sitting at the office, right? All of a sudden my phone rings, and I see the caller ID, and I knew who it was. It's one of my friends who speaks English, but he prefers to speak Portuguese when we talk.
Okay.
So I grabbed a pad of paper, I put it in front of Jason. I said, hey, this could be a really important call. Take some notes. And I gave him a pen, knowing that this guy was going to be talking Portuguese, right? So
you're good.
I answered the thing. I'm speaking Portuguese to my friend there. He's a truck driver, and he's up in California somewhere. So, we're having a conversation. And I'm looking at Jason. I said, take notes. Take notes. He's looking at me like he has no idea what we're saying. So,
and you got your friend on speakerphone so you can hear both of you?
Yeah. So, so then I said to my friend on the phone, says, hey, hold on one second. Still speaking Portuguese. And I said to Jason, are you going to take notes or not? Come on, man. This is important. He's looking at me like I'm crazy, but he's still confused about how he's supposed to take notes. And the whole time, funny. I was on the phone call probably for about 5 minutes. He still had the pad in his hand and a pen, but he just didn't know what to do. And every once in a while, I'd go like this. Come on.
That's awesome. That reminds me of you showing up and surprising us at the side yard gig, and then talking to Marco in Portuguese as I walked into the conversation, knowing I was the theme of your conversation.
Yeah, that's good.
Awesome.
So Jason had told me that there was one of his friends lost a son to suicide.
Oh.
And I guess the kid got a book at the library on how to commit suicide. And I says, that can't be. That doesn't exist. So I go to the library to see if anything exists. And it was a lady that was obviously a volunteer. She was probably late 80s, maybe early 90s. And I found the book, and I said, I'd like to check this out. She goes, young man, I can't let you take that book out. I said, why not? She goes, oh, come on now. I know you're not going to friggin' bring it back. Boom.
Ooh, wow.
That's kind of strong, isn't it?
That's right on the line, that one. That's right up to the line. We might have lost a couple of viewers on that one.
I didn't really say the word, though.
Well, it was the theme, not the word.
She said it's even funnier when I say the real word, because
I know. But then we got to edit again. It's like Jason all over again. Good Lord.
yeah, but a lady being like in her 90s, and she says, "Oh, come on, young boy, I know you're not going to bring it back. You're not going to effing bring it back." But if you say it like with enthusiasm, when you say it makes it even funnier.
I think it might be funnier if you leave out the part where you're starting with the fact that it's like it was a real story. I don't think you need that piece, because that makes it real, and suddenly people are like, should I be laughing at this because it's a real story? But it wasn't. It's just a cool joke.
Well, a lot of the stories I tell is just the only reason for the story is to get a punchline at the end.
I know.
You know that.
I know.
This coffee's good today, by the way, with this hot tea.
Is it? A little early for a margarita. I had a coffee earlier. I was going to make a second. In fact, I did make a second one. And I just couldn't. I just had too much caffeine going already. Let me hold off on that.
So now I have a new series that I want to start on this thing. So here's a question for the mind readers.
Oh. Oh, I feel like I'm pretty quick today. Nothing's getting by me. That ID 10T, I knew that before I saw it. This is good.
So this week, and today's the 5th day, for 4 days, I've been on a Zoom meeting with Tony Robbins on Breakthrough 2022.
Oh, nice.
So remember I told you before how he does these Zoom meetings now with all kinds of people? So there's people, he had these big screens with all these people that are on it that pay money to be a VIP. And they actually, anyway, long story short, it's supposed to be like a 90-minute thing, but he can never do 90 minutes. It's always 3 hours.
Right.
You know how he's intense and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's like 100,000 people on this Zoom meeting from all over the world. From all over the world. I'm not on the screen, I'm just watching it, but there's like, I don't know, probably, I guess all these screens you can see the people. He can zoom in and talk to somebody if he wants to.
That's amazing.
Then people tell their stories. It's success that they've had or not had, and situations that they had and how they overcame.
So has it been like an hour and a half, 2 hours every day?
3 hours.
3 hours every day.
It's supposed to be 90 minutes, but his assistant says you have to remember we're on Tony Robbins' standard time.
It's funny you said it. I was at an event out in Las Vegas, I'm going to say 4 or 5 years ago, and big event, 20,000 people in the audience live.
Yeah.
And he was one of the guest speakers. So the first night he was given 2 hours on stage that first night. And he says, you got to understand, when I accepted this and I talked to the person who was hosting it, how much time do you get? He said, you get 2 hours. And he goes, okay, understand, I don't have anything less than 50 hours that I do. and you're giving me 2. And it's true. I did it. He had one of his first opening weekends is called Unleash the Power Within, UPW, they call it for short. Yeah. It's a 4-day intense, 10, 12-hour days. He takes one of these off in the middle.
Yeah, he goes 10, 12 hours without stopping.
Yeah, for days in a row.
Yeah.
It was one day in the middle, he had a guest come in who's a partner of his on his team because he just needed a break just for voice. But man, that is powerful stuff. That was down in New Jersey, about 5,000 people. Yeah. And I had a friend of mine who really promoted it, like, you need to get to this. And these UPWs, the initial ones, they're almost no cost for the entire 4 days. It was amazing.
Well, he's doing the UPW on the Zoom thing, so you can watch it from home.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what we did on the very first night that you can't do from home is we walked on hot coals.
Oh, yeah.
The fire walk. That was amazing.
I was at a thing when we had like a campfire going on, and I had a couple of beers. And I got up to go to the bathroom, and I tripped. I didn't walk on the fire, but I laid down on the fire.
Well, that's something that Tony Robbins doesn't even do.
Oh, that was strange.
I think Joan of Arc kind of spirited that one, didn't she?
Wow, that's true.
What?
That's crazy.
Historical reference, sense of humor. That's not too bad.
Huh.
So it's been about 10 minutes. 10 minutes since we started. I just want to just reference the fact that Cross Country Mortgage is our sponsor today.
So the Devon Ash Group.
Wow. Devon Ash Group, Cross Country Mortgage. Huh?
So we know that
they deliver.
Huh?
They deliver.
And we know the Devon person.
We do know the Devon person and the Ash person, quite frankly. Well, you don't. I do.
Yeah, but I know the Devon
The
person.
Devon person and the Ash person are related.
Are they?
Yes.
Why
Mother and son. Mother and son.
Mother and son. So I can tell you that the Devon person that I know is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, really.
What's her first name? Keeper, I think. Keeper is her first name.
The Keeper,
Devon. Well, we'd like to publicly thank the Devon Ash Group and Cross Country Mortgage for sponsoring, coming on board the No Hissy Fit Zone.
Awesome.
It was tough. We got a lot of people in that funnel, big corporations trying to sponsor us, and they made the grade, and we picked them this month. So.
There's not a phone number there that they can see. How do they contact them? Is there a website or something?
Oh, look at this. Let me give you an email address.
Oh, there we go.
I like that. Get started today, lindevon.com.
There you go. Perfect. So next time.
I think that's misspelled. That should probably be KEEPAHDEVIN.com.
I know.
What I did there? Were you writing along with me going, what's he saying?
But the next time that she's a sponsor again, if she's actually on the Zoom itself and she's talks for a few minutes, we won't charge her for the
I'll cover that. I'll cover that invoice.
Oh, you will? Okay.
Yeah, that would be that'd be a smart thing for her to do, is to have her picture on her stuff. But that's me, and I'm a little prejudiced there,
Very nice, man. So the Buccaneers lost to a tough game. Wow.
I was really shocked. I was out of town last weekend in New York. I'm about to get to that, and I heard about it after the fact, and I was really surprised because I had them winning the Super Bowl, and I was hoping they would.
Me too. And the game was so tough because at the end of the first half, they were down 27-3.
Well, they've been there before. Well, Brady's been there before against Atlanta in the Super Bowl. No problem.
Atlanta was 28-3
Yep.
at the end of the third quarter, and we still won. The Patriots won. So I thought it was going to happen, but it's so crazy. There's one. I don't know if you watched the end of it.
They got close.
They were actually tied, and then it was like 16 seconds left, and the Rams threw one of those long throws, and the guy caught it in the 20-yard line. Then they kicked the field goal, and they won. But what they're supposed to do with that play was everybody's supposed to blitz and knock everybody over, so nobody could do that. But this guy, they let him run through, and our player couldn't catch him. It was heartbreaking for me.
Yeah, tough loss. I was rooting for them also. They talked about it being an amazing weekend of football, just with all these underdog teams winning and advancing. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
All the favorite teams are all knocked out at this point. And at this point, I think, are the games tonight or tomorrow or one of each? I forget, but it's this weekend. I don't have a horse in the race anywhere, except they're all underdogs. I love underdogs, but I don't know what to do.
Well, the 49ers are still in it, and the 49ers, has
they got Garoppolo, and he was a Patriot, so maybe you go that direction.
I know, huh? Crazy.
Interesting. And so this works out that this weekend is the playoff week, and then they take 2 weeks. So the Pro Bowl's next week, and then the Super Bowl's in 2 weeks. Must be 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Both games are tomorrow. Bengals and Chiefs at 3:00. And
all right, so I'll take the Bengals there just because they're an underdog to the Chiefs and Mahomes, right?
Yeah, Mahomes, man, he's killing it.
Yeah, so I'd love to see the Bengals win that. And then Rams.
And 49ers.
So the 49ers there. So that's interesting. That's 2 California teams. That's interesting.
So I want the 49ers.
West Coast rivalry. So I'm going to go 49ers, Bengals in the Super Bowl.
Well, and I want the 49ers to win because of Garoppolo. Plus, the Rams beat the Patriots. I mean, the Buccaneers. So we got to knock them out. That's not right.
All right, so I got Bengals and 49ers in the Super Bowl, and the 49ers winning that Super Bowl 21-10.
Nice.
Again, on my side, that was perfect.
I know, but I should give you a warning when I'm going to do this. So on the count of 3, I'm going to do it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's awesome.
Speaking of time,
Yes.
so I was out in New York State. Keepa and I took a little weekend excursion out to the middle of New York State. There's this beautiful area called the Finger Lakes. So they got these 11 north-south lakes shaped like fingers called the Finger Lakes. And we thought, let's go check this area out. We'll do an Airbnb on this lake, which really meant on this sheet of ice covered in snow. Cold and just like, let's just go explore. And we got out there on Friday and went out for a bite to eat in this like Roadhouse dive bar. We sit at the bar, ordering some food. A couple of people at the bar, we start talking to the other couple. An hour and a half later, we're best friends. We're hugging each other goodbye. And she's like, oh, there's some live music tomorrow. You have to come out and check out this band. And we're like, we love live music. They told us where it was. Lynn, of course, is a big fan of mine. So she's saying, oh, Michael's a drummer, and going on and on and on. And next thing, she's got my phone and she's showing her video from the Side Yard gig. And she's like, wow, this is cool. You're good. And her husband's on the phone talking to the band saying, I got a friend of mine who's going to sit in tomorrow night with you. And I'm thinking, that's really not necessary. Anyway, we have a great day the next day running around in Ithaca and looking at the whole area. Bought some local wines, a lot of wineries in that area, New York State. And we ended up at this cool lakeside, big restaurant, huge decks. Of course, we're all inside at this time of the year. The band was one of the better cover bands I've ever seen. They're called the Party Sharks. In fact, I wonder if they have a website, Party Sharks. They were great. And anyway, so I walk in and the leader of the band comes up. He goes, are you the drummer? I said, sure. And he says, all right, what do you want to do? And I go, whatever you want. I don't know. And he says, how about Elvis Costello, Peace, Love, and Understanding?
Wow.
And I went, great. And so we actually went to sit down, had a reservation for tables, so the four of us sit down to have dinner. The band starts at 7. I'm going to play from 7 to 10. And I'm thinking, and so now my anxiety is going a little like, right? And I'm like, So I go to the bathroom with my phone and I have to go listen to the song in the stall. Like, how does this go? I kind of knew the chorus, right? But I'm like, okay. And I'm glad I did because there's some stops at the end. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
So we're out on the floor. The girls are dancing. These guys are great. The place was not packed at all, but there was a rhythm guitar player who could sing, a keyboard player who could sing differently. They were amazing. And there was another guest drummer who was in the house. So I'm like, can't I just go first and get this over with? They finally get to me. And I walk up there and I thank the drummer. I said, very gracious of you to, let me play your drums. And I go to sit down. He hands me his sticks. I sit down behind the kit and the rhythm guitar player says, what are we doing? I said, I think we're doing Elvis Costello. He goes, no. We're going to do Miss You by the Stones.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, so when I look up, I'm thinking, okay. Do. And I'm like, oh my God, it's been 22 years since I've heard this song.
Yeah.
But we had a ton of fun and we got ourselves through it. Did you see it on Facebook? Lynn had recorded it and put it on Facebook. It's pretty funny. But I pulled it off.
I'll check it out. Wow.
I pulled it off and the guys in the band were like, dude, that was awesome. And I suppose the lesson is have some more confidence in ourselves. We're better than we think we are in all the stuff we're trying to do in life. It was a fun time.
Yeah, so live music is awesome. Were you ever into the Dead music?
I really wasn't. I had a roommate in college who was a gigantic Deadhead, and I really tried. I never really got it.
So one time I saw them live, I think it was in Lynn, Mass or somewhere up there, but anyway, it was like on a field and stuff, and the people on the show are different than normal people. They're just weird, but not weird. Whatever the word is, it's not weird. But anyway, they just jam. It's like crazy.
Yeah, it's a big jam band. I saw them live at the Boston Garden in 1982. Which for our viewership, I'll share and I'll be transparent. That was the last night I smoked marijuana. 1982 Boston Garden, Grateful Dead, and I almost freaked out. I'm like, ugh. I wasn't really doing much of that beforehand. But that roommate of mine from New Jersey came up and surprised me, knocked on my door. I was in Boston by then. And I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, we're going to see the Dead. I got your ticket. Let's go. It was awesome. So even being there, I didn't get it.
So that was the last time you smoked?
Yeah.
So now you just eat it. You don't smoke it anymore.
And I wasn't much of a user before that either. It wasn't the first time I tried it, but it was the last time I did it. That's for sure. Oh my goodness.
That's awesome.
Funny. funny. I saw the Jerry Garcia band live the year before that. Of course,
yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah,
goes without saying he was alive at the time since he was there. But yeah, didn't quite get it. I think then everybody went over to follow Fish, right? All the Deadheads went to follow Fish.
Yeah. Fish likes to jam too. They just
You're kind of a jam band. That's similar stuff.
So, my band, the Oyster Bone, used to play at this Halloween block party every year.
Yeah.
So this guy would hire us. We'd play in a driveway, and then he brought some of those folding tables out in the front lawn, and all the neighbors would bring food and booze or whatever to the cooler, and we'd play. And one time we were playing that, and the last song that we're supposed to be playing, Adrian gave Mike the sing. Says, "Hey, I'm going to sing this one." So we're playing something, and Adrian starts singing, but he wasn't singing the lyrics of the song. He was singing the set list. So he was doing something
and he made it work in all the music, just singing the set list.
He never would have known, because he said something like, "We started off with Jumpin' Jack Flash, and then we went to a little Tom Petty." And he's like singing all the whole set list. And he was. So I'm listening to him. I said, "What the heck is he singing?" And I realized what he was doing. He was reading the set list. I was like, "Wow, this is so funny."
Oh, that's awesome. That's funny.
On that gig, there was two girls there, two young ladies, got into a little bit of a beef, pushing each other back and forth. So one of the neighbors was a police officer, but he didn't want to get involved, so he called the police. He didn't want to break that up as a neighbor and stuff. So 4 police cars showed up, and the fire truck for some reason. So now, the guys are looking at me like, I said, keep going. I learned that from George Betancourt one time. We were playing at the BCL in Hudson, and there was a fight. One of the guys got knocked into the stage.
Just keep playing.
George Betancourt said, keep playing. So we kept playing. So while the police were there, we just kept playing, right? And after everything's cooled down and everything, the first police car came by and stopped right in front of the driveway. He rolled his window down, and he's waving at us, and he's going, doing the thumbs up. Then the second guy does the same thing, and the third guy and the fourth guy, and the fire truck does the same thing. So here's the cool thing about it. My son Josh was out there. It was the first time I think he saw us play live. He said, "Dad, that was so freaking cool. There was 4 police cars there in the fire truck, and you guys just kept playing." I says, "Well, we get paid to play, not to watch what's going on with the audience." And this one,
that's funny.
You might appreciate this. This is another true story. We're playing at a private party. This guy's a big pool in the back of the house. We're playing there. And then we were playing Breaking the Law by Judas Priest.
Yeah.
Right? So the bass player's wife, Jen, comes over and says, "Hey, guys." So she got us to stop. She goes, "You guys really are breaking the law. The cops are outside saying you have to shut it down." I said, "What? You have to shut it down or turn it down?" She goes, "I don't know." She says, "Tell them to come over here." So she calls the police over. He says, "Hey," I says, "What's wrong?" I says, "Well, it's 10 o'clock. And there's like a noise ordinance at 10 o'clock. You can't. So do we have to shut it down or just turn it down? He says, "Well, if you can turn it down enough so it's, people don't call us anymore, you can do that, but you can't play as loud as you're playing now." So we turn it down.
We just don't want to know about it.
But so how's that for a story? We're playing breaking the law, and the police showed up to tell us to shut down.
Come on, I love it. Let's say I played in 2 cover bands. There was a modern country band that was cool. Before that was a rock and roll band. And we played an outdoor backyard gig, and the police came. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yep. So this funny, I was telling somebody the story about this Rolling Stones song, "Miss You," that I played drums to with the Party Sharks. And I've heard a few people, one guy said, "That's like my least favorite Stones song," which I get. I mean, everyone has their own opinion. But in terms of you being in a cover band, "Miss You" is a really cool drive-in pop song for a cover band to do.
Yeah.
You guys should consider that, "Miss You." Need some high backing vocals. That do.
Let me put out a
APB. Text. Yeah, band text. Learn this for Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And the other one, Elvis Costello. I learned a couple new tunes. So there's a song called "Personal Jesus" that Depeche Mode did back in the 80s.
I love that song, yeah.
And then Johnny Cash covered it. Yeah, I guess completely different. And they did a version that was somewhere in the middle. And it was really cool.
Really cool.
It was really cool. And there's another song that I didn't know, and it was by, what was the name of that band? Omar and I'll have to do some research on that. It was a cool song. Oh. It's unusual to go hear a cover band and learn new music, but that happened a little bit.
My Own Personal Jesus, the Pat Modes, that was really good. I like both versions, Johnny Cash and is it the Patch Modes that he said?
Actually, that's what they told me. I got to go back and listen to them again. But it was really, and they did a version with somewhere in the middle. That's what they said.
It's really good.
Yeah.
My Own Personal Jesus, wow.
That's funny. It was a good time.
Wow.
Times.
So that's about it. I don't know, man.
What was I just gonna say? I had something to say.
Music is awesome. It'll come.
How often do you guys in the band are you trying to learn new music? Like, we need to add some new stuff to the set and keep it fresh. Do people come with songs that they want to do?
Sometimes we go where we learn 2 or 3 songs, like in the middle of like a week or two different rehearsals. And then sometimes we go for a while without learning any songs because we have so many songs that we used to play that we don't play anymore. So sometimes we just rehash those and bring them back out.
There was a song that I heard. This was years ago, but I was playing in this cover band, and it was before I have Shazam on my phone, which the Shazam app. It'll tell you what the song is, which I use a lot. It was before that, and I was in the frozen food business at the time, and so I'm in downtown Boston, this gigantic frozen seafood warehouse, standing on the loading docks outside of the office, getting an order and waiting to sign for something. They got music coming through the stereo system, and this song comes on. I know you're going to ask me what it's called, so I'm trying to come up with it in the back of my brain as I'm telling the story. I'm like, oh my God, I love this tune. It's kind of obscure, but people know it. And I go, okay. And I borrowed the guy's desk phone and called the singer in the band and said, what's this song? I held the phone up in the warehouse. That was like the old days of the free cell phones and Shazam. If I don't remember this, I'm going to tell you, I'll find out what it was and tell you too, because it was, you guys, it's a great tune. You guys would love doing this.
Yeah.
What the heck was the name of that? I'll come up with it. Before this is over, I'll know. I just programmed my subconscious to come up with it, so we'll do it.
So we play Folsom Prison Blues, Johnny Cash song.
Yeah, yeah.
But we rock it up a little bit. It's really cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love when you got songs that are a little rocked up. You know what song I love? Speaking of Elvis Costello, Pump It Up. But Gary Sharon, our singer from Extreme and Van Halen and all that, had a side band called Hurt Smile. You must know Hurt Smile.
Yeah.
They did Pump It Up, and they really rocked it up. It is awesome. So speaking of side projects, I discovered a new band this week that you will love. Maybe you know about them. You and I were both commenting on a Facebook page this week about the band Flesh.
Yeah.
And saying we're both fans. And you know some of those guys in Flesh. I've met one. I love that album. Oh my God. So Stephen Powell, who was the bass player in Flesh, do you know him?
Yeah.
Okay. So he posted, it might have been that same thread saying this came out this week, and it was a link to a newspaper article about him. Like, you know, rock musician lives in such.
I saw that, yeah.
So when I read that, it talked about his history. And he was in a band in the 2000s, 2001, with the guitar player from Flesh, who's Marcus Sharon, Gary's brother. And they were in a band called Super Zero. Do you know this band or this album?
No, but Marcus Sharon, he's a good player, man. He can play a guitar.
Oh my God, he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, and I knew this singer, you know, my buddy Pedro Silva, the guitar player. So Pedro had introduced me to, I think he might have played with him. There's a singer in this area whose name is, I believe it's Tommy Dempsey. You know that name?
No, but I jammed once with Pedro.
Okay. So this Super Zero band is, I downloaded the CD. I am loving this. I'm like waking up in the morning playing these songs in my head. It was from 2001. They actually put out 2 CDs in 2001. Super Zero, check this out. Oh, it was amazing.
Super Zero?
Super Zero, 2 words, Super Zero. And you'll find 2 CDs from 2001. And I read the same article you did about Stephen Powell, and I'm like, let me check this out, and I love it. It's very different from Flesh. It's much more kind of pop rock, but oh my goodness, spectacular.
When you did Super Zero, I thought you were going to be one of those things where it's going to be like a special code or something. Call me a Super Zero.
You'll enjoy it.
Very
Check
nice.
it out. Check it out. There was a song called Bus Driver. Wow.
So I think Adrian, our drummer, is a really, really good guitar player. I mean, really good.
Yep.
He plays in 3 different bands, and one band
Yeah.
he plays guitar. It's a band called Shake Society, but they do a lot of songs and they put like a reggae type of feel to it sometimes, and they have the horn section. The whole deal is really cool. And he plays in another band where he's the bass player, and with us he's the drummer. So
It's amazing.
we have a drummer that sits in with us that when the radio's not available. I think I told you about him, Francis. He's kind of a jazz type of drummer, but he plays everything. He's really, really good.
Huh.
So we're doing a rehearsal because we're going to do a gig with us, and we're going to play Folsom Prison Blues, Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
He says, "So what's the intro on this?" I said, "Well, I do the little intro riff, and then we all come in." He says, "How about the outro?" Says, "At the outro, I do the same riff again, and then we do the." Oh man, my mind just went crazy. Wow.
I don't know the song enough to even jump in and say it here. I don't know.
There's a word for it. Oh, he says, we do the 3 Bo Diddleys. He goes, gotcha. The other guys are saying, huh? That's a Bo Diddley. So, I did the riff, down, and he comes in, right? So we play it, and we really rock it up pretty good. It's really cool. And then at the end, I do the same riff, and we do the 3 Bo Diddleys, and it goes, pop, 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 pop. There's it 3 times. And the guys were like, how'd you know what to do? He says, well, Tony said it was 3 Bo Diddleys. Which is funny. Because they were surprised that he knew how to do that. I says, well, Bo Diddley means something to him. I don't know what it means, but I said it and he did it.
That's funny. That's funny. That's all. You guys have a gig coming up, don't you? I saw something on Facebook next weekend.
Yeah, so there's a place called Sunset Beach.
Right.
It's really cool. I'll tell you a little story that's interesting about this. It's a little small beach, and they have one of those outside stages, with the cover and stuff that we play at.
Yeah.
And the sun sets behind us while we're playing. Really cool. Really cool. And people bring their folding chairs, garden chairs, whatever. And one time we're playing there. The third time we play there, the city promotes the whole thing. It's like a summer concert series. So every month they have a different band. And there was one year where we played twice because the band that was supposed to play wasn't available. So they called us up and said, hey, we got good feedback for you guys playing. So can you guys fill in for this other band? I said, so we played twice, right? So now, when we were playing, there's a group of off to the right of the stage where I was looking at. There's a group every time we played, say, Tony, Tony. I'm like, what the heck? But I had no idea who they were. So my bass player's name is Tony. I said, Tony, is that you? He says, no, they're not talking to me. It's you. I don't know anybody there. So during the first break, I walk over there, see who it was. And so here's the funny, it's so interesting because my godfather has a house in Newport Richie with his brothers. They all have a house. They have 5 houses. And they're like back to back, and they put the gates in the fence and stuff so they can get together.
Wow.
They come down for the winter. But see, the thing is that they told a bunch of people because they saw on Facebook that we're playing there. So there's a bunch of people that showed up. So my cousin was there also, and my other cousin. And next thing you know, all these people are together, and there's like 28 people that are from my island, Santa Maria, in the Azores. And a lot of them people that I know real well, and some of them that I know of seen, but I know all of them. So they're all like excited about the music. So one guy says, hey, Tony, man, there's a lot of people here. Right? They told us there was over 1,000 people there. He says, wow, there's a lot of people here. So I said, well, yeah, well, I don't mess around, as if I had something to do with it. It was funny. So we're playing there again. It's really cool. But here's the thing: when we play that gig, you have to start off with the American national anthem.
Oh.
So we don't play it. So this one guy that plays in Adrian's other band, the Shake Society, plays the keyboards and plays horns and stuff. So he comes up with a saxophone and plays that with a saxophone before we start.
Just solo on a sax. That must have been beautiful.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, he's really good too. So it's really cool.
Ah.
Yeah. Wow.
How many islands make up the Azores?
9.
And Santa Maria is one of the larger ones?
No,
Or no?
Santa Maria is the first one. Or whatever. We're the furthest east. So the next island.
So they run kind of east-west? They're horizontal on the globe.
They kind of go like,
Bit of a curve.
But the island they work from, so it's like 8 miles wide and 60 miles long. So it's not a big island.
8 by 16. And how much space between the islands? Like, can you see the next one with the naked eye, or?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, when it's a clean day, you can see. But it's like a 15-minute airplane ride or something. That one's a big island. They grow pineapples there and the whole deal. But every island is different. One island has a volcano thing and so on. It's really cool. And here's the funny part. I actually watched a video there. This guy making fun, not making fun, but talking about how people from each island say things differently, and our accents are different. You know the
Really?
yeah.
Different, almost dialects just based on the islands? How
Yeah,
fascinating.
and he was saying, yeah, if you're gonna say I'm gonna go to the store, the people from Santa Maria say it this way, and he says what they say. Then every island says. The guy was really good about that, and really cool, man. Even the island that I'm from, we could tell if somebody was from like there's an area where the airport is, and there's a thing called Port, which is like it's not a city, but it's a little town. There was everybody has cars and stuff. It's like different electricity and all that stuff. Not everybody does, but back then when I was there, nobody had that. Just people near the airport. The airport was the American. The Americans are the ones that built the airport because they needed to have a place to be able to fuel when they go into Europe with the planes and stuff.
Oh, right. Is there one main airport on one of the islands?
Well, ours is, but I think they all have an airport now. But San Miguel, which is Saint Michael, the one, the second island, that's a big one. That's really cool. There was one guy one time that my mother told me the story. This guy there's a boat you can take from my island to the other island. It's like about an hour drive, riding a boat or something. And this guy was not the sharpest guy in the world, if you know what I mean. So they said, "How was your trip?" He says, "Well, if it wasn't for me, the boat would have flipped over." I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, all of a sudden the boat starts going to the side, so I go over there and I push the wall on the other side, and then when it starts to fall, leaning over to that side, I have to go to the other side and push the wall there to make sure it doesn't flip over. With the waves and stuff." It was. We actually thought he saved the plane from flipping over by going over and pushing the wall. Funny, isn't it?
That is, so that island has the main airport, but all the islands must have some sort of runway strip just to have planes come in and out.
Well, on the third island, which is where the Betancourts are from, it's called Terceira, which means third. There's an American Air Force base in there that.
And what's the name of that third island?
Terceira, which means third.
Oh,
It's
well,
the
there you
third
go.
island. Yeah. Really cool.
Interesting.
Huh.
Wow. Well, we are moving along here today.
We are moving
We're
along.
wrapping things up. What do we got? Oh, good Lord, look at that.
And actually,
We did it again.
I need to.
We did it again. Huh?
I need to move on anyway because.
We did it again.
Huh? We did it again.
In closing, I just want to thank again Cross Country Mortgage and the Devon Ash team for sponsoring the No Hissy Fit Zone. Great decision on their part.
So Devon Ash. So Devon is the last name. Lynn's the last name.
Lynn Devon, Sean Ash.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Oh, I just stopped it right at the right spot.
Get started today. That's us.
It started today. We deliver.
Does she do
Speaking of delivering, look at this weather right here.
Yeah.
Place to see if they'll deliver, if you know what I mean.
How come your tree doesn't have any leaves?
You forgot about January New England, didn't you?
So in January, all the leaves leave.
Right, they all head south for the winter.
South. Whoa.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
This is the first of the year. This is number 20. And you said
Next one will be legal.
And you said we'll never go beyond 3 episodes. I said no, we will. And here we are at 20.
I think I said 103. So now we're almost 20% of the way there.
Wow.
So I did that little math there.
You know what they say about math?
3 kinds of people who like it. 3 kinds of people. What? How's that go? 3 kinds of people. Those who understand math and those who don't.
Yeah, when it comes to math, there's only 3 types of people. The ones that understand math and the ones that don't. Well, no, there's only 3 types of people in the world.
Right.
The ones that understand math and the ones that don't.
Have a great week.
Hey, thank you, man. I gotta go get a haircut. Don't you think I need it?
A little bit.
So this
Me
is
too.
this lady that cuts my hair. She has no idea what she's doing. Every time she cuts my hair, number one, it grows back, and then she keeps putting in this gray stuff. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
I need to find somebody else to do my haircut.
I agree. You might see something radical soon.
Well, give the sponsor a hug from me.
I will do that.
But next time, tell her that she has to be on at least for a few minutes. Just come over and sit down next to you and tell us about her business. Do they do mortgages just locally, or they do it all over the country?
Oh no, nationwide.
Nationwide, see?
Yeah.
So maybe one day I
And they have a Homes for Heroes program for military and police, fire, teachers with discounts on closing costs. The only ones who do it. It's pretty cool.
So I got a call one time. I don't know if I told you about this. This guy from Police News, which is a website that they try to get realtors to pay a fee to be on the website. So there, police officers or firemen looking for a house, they can go there and see, what realtors they could hook up to it. So he was trying to get me to pay a fee to be on the website, which could be a good idea. But he kept saying, well, so if you're on the website, you would be the realtor that the police officers would call. He kept saying
the realtor.
He kept saying that. So I said to him, "Hey, you call realtors all day long?" He goes, "Yes. Can I give you a little advice?" He goes, "Sure." I said, "If you're talking to realtors all day long, it'd be nice if you knew how to pronounce the word realtor. You're saying realtor, and there's no I in realtor. It's realtor. So he says, "Are you serious? You're trying to correct my English right now?" I says, "No, I'm not trying to correct your English.
Just your pronunciation."
I'm saying you're not pronouncing the word right. If you're talking to realtors, you should say realtor, not realtor." He goes, "Oh yeah." Click, and he hangs up on me.
I'm going to guess you did not buy onto that website.
No, but I lost nights of sleep because of that. I couldn't get over it. Still, right now, I'm still hurting.
I should say you're still talking about it.
All right, Mr. Mike.
Enjoy, buddy. Good to see you.
This is on the records. We're gonna put this one out there and keep going.
Fun as usual. I'll see you soon.
I'm gonna stay on top of you, but getting Lynn on the next podcast or something.
Let's see what I can do. I got a little poll.
So is she there back behind you somewhere or in front of you watching, or is she not?
No, we're in separate areas. Oh, look at this. My battery's running low on my computer. It's perfect timing because my computer's about to die and I'm plugged in.
And my ID10T code is messing up, so my computer's gonna die too. Look at that. Isn't that pretty cool?
That's about to expire, that code.
ID10 code. All right, Mike.
Talk to you soon, pal.
See ya.
Take care.
Oh.